plane you see on your screen is Trump Force One, Donald Trump's private plane. It landed in the Arctic island of Greenland in its capital, Nuuk. The man who disembarked from it was Donald Trump's eldest son, Donald Trump Jr. He claimed he was on a private visit to Greenland, yet he brought a political message for Greenlanders from his dad.
I just want to say that it's a very special place. It needs security for itself, but it also needs security very much for the world.
Donald Trump amplified the message at a news conference at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida.
Well, we need Greenland for national security purposes. People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right to it. But if they do, they should give it up because we need it for national security. That's for the free world. I'm talking about protecting the free world. You don't even need binoculars. You look outside, you have China ships all over the place. You have Russian ships all over the place. We're not letting that happen. We're not letting it happen.
Greenland is not alone. Panama Canal and Canada are on his wish list too. To get Greenland and Panama Canal, he is not ruling out using military or economic force.
No, I can't assure you on either of those two, but I can say this: we need them for economic security. The Panama Canal is vital to our country. It's being operated by China. And we gave the Panama Canal to Panama. We didn't give it to China, and they've abused it.
For Canada, this is what Trump posted on his Truth Social handle. The map of the United States redrawn to absorb Canada.
As Canada and the United States, that would really be something. You get rid of that artificially drawn line, and you take a look at what that looks like, and it would also be much better for national security. Don't forget, we basically protect Canada. We don't need anything they have. We don't need their dairy products. We have more than they have. We don't need anything. So why are we losing $200 billion a year and more to protect Canada?
But Canada, Denmark, whose semi-autonomous territory is Greenland, Greenland MPs and Panama are all saying, no, they are not for sale. A day after announcing that he will step down, Justin Trudeau used social media to fire back. He wrote, "There isn't a snowball's chance in hell that Canada would become part of the United States." Canada's conservative leader, Pierre Poilievre's response to Trump was similar. Rebuffs from others too came in plenty.
Greenland is not for sale.
Greenland is not for sale and Greenland will not be for sale.
Every square meter of the Panama Canal and its adjacent areas belong to Panama and will continue to belong to Panama.
Now let's see why Trump is interested in the US acquiring these territories. Let's begin with Greenland. Greenland is the world's largest island, home to more than 50,000 people. A former Danish colony, it has wide-ranging autonomy, but it remains part of the Kingdom of Denmark. Greenland's relations with Denmark have lately been strained by allegations of mistreatment of Greenlanders. The island's government, led by its Prime Minister, aims for eventual independence. The island wants to diversify its economy away from fishing. It opened a new airport in Nuuk as part of plans to increase tourism, but it still relies on a roughly $500 million annual grant from Denmark, and this has proved to be a big sticking point to its independence. Trump's interest in Greenland is not new. It was evident in his first presidential term too. He had then reportedly considered trying to trade Greenland for Puerto Rico. By the way, Trump is not the first US president to float the idea of buying Greenland. In 1867, when President Andrew Johnson bought Alaska, he also considered purchasing Greenland. At the end of World War II, the Truman administration offered Denmark $100 million for the island. Neither offer came through. But under a 1951 defense treaty, the US got an air base, now called Pituffik Space Base, in northwest Greenland. Midway between Moscow and New York, it is the northernmost outpost of the US Armed Forces and is equipped with a missile warning system. The US wants to ensure that no hostile great power controls Greenland because it can get a foothold for attacking the US. Greenland has thus long been seen as key for US security. Greenland is strategically located. It offers a geopolitical advantage because of its unique geopolitical position sitting between the US and Europe. Its capital city Nuuk is closer to New York City than it is to Denmark's capital Copenhagen. But what could be even more appealing to Trump is Greenland's rich deposits of natural resources. Oil, natural gas and rare earth minerals are high in demand. Rare earth minerals are crucial in the manufacture of batteries, electric cars, wind turbines and military equipment. Currently, China dominates global rare earth production and it has already threatened to restrict the export of critical minerals and associated technologies. Trump and his advisors are said to be concerned about China's dominance over rare earth minerals, and so the US is interested in tapping into the available resources closer to home. More than the oil, gas and minerals, Greenland has a lot of ice. If that ice melts, it would reshape coastlines across the globe and can dramatically shift weather patterns. If all of its ice melts, the world's seas would rise by 24 feet, and so Greenland provides a front row seat to the global climate crisis. Melting of ice could also mean discovery of more rare earth materials. During the Cold War, the UK would often have 50 ships stationed in the area to look after the seas between Greenland and the UK, with Iceland in the middle. It's called the Greenland-Iceland-UK Gap. This route can be used by the Russian Northern Fleet to get into the Atlantic Ocean. Both the UK and Denmark have a shared security interest in this gap. As per UK's Arctic policy framework, it will continue to develop military capability in collaboration with Denmark to allow it to operate in the region and to safeguard UK's interests and those of its allies. But if Greenland is overtaken by the US, this collaboration could be affected. Denmark says Greenland's independence is possible, but joining the US is unlikely. But if Greenland becomes independent, it could choose to become associated with the US. One option could be to form a so-called free association pact with America, similar to the status of Pacific Island nations, such as Marshall Islands, Micronesia and Palau. Coming to the Panama Canal now, it is a waterway that connects the Caribbean Sea with the Pacific Ocean. It acts as a shortcut route, saving time and costs for transporting goods. The US-built canal was opened in 1914 and was controlled by the US until a 1977 agreement provided for its eventual handover to Panama. Jimmy Carter was the US president then. The canal was jointly operated by both countries until the Panamanian government retained full control after 1999. The canal is now administered by the Panama Canal Authority, an autonomous government entity. A Hong Kong-based contractor operates 2 ports connected to it. Trump says the canal is vital for the US but is being operated by China. But the Panamanian president says there is absolutely no Chinese interference in the canal. What's more, Trump wants to annex Canada too, but not by military force, only by economic might. Trump laments the US spending hundreds of billions of dollars a year to protect Canada. If Trump's plan comes to pass, Canada would need to essentially disband. Experts say that would require invoking a constitutional amendment that would require the agreement of the House of Commons, the Senate, and of every province. The European Union is disapproving of Trump's plans.
The sovereignty of states has to be respected.
That's also the sentiment in France and Germany. Trump has also suggested renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. All this means Trump wants to expand the US sphere of influence, a glimpse into what looks like a bigger scope of his America First vision. Trump's desires are not outlandish because US and many other territories have bought and annexed foreign territories, although not in recent years. The US obtained the Virgin Islands from the Kingdom of Denmark in 1917 for $25 million in gold coin, but only after decades of attempts to acquire them. Alaska and Hawaii became US states in 1959. Under Trump, the US may be retreating from the world by avoiding new foreign entanglements, but is doubling down in its backyard. Now it remains to be seen if Trump is really serious about these territorial acquisitions, or if he will indeed follow through, or if this is just bravado or a bargaining chip to get something else. That's all in this edition of Connecting the Dots. We'll see you next week with more raging issues. Until then, it's a goodbye from all of us in the Delhi newsroom. This is Munmin Bhattacharya signing off. Take care and stay safe.